Hello CAD students, this is Mr. Erickson. I'm going to do a demonstration of how to create the front elevation for the final project. I've had a few questions about this, so I thought I would do a quick demonstration. I'm going to break it up into different parts. So I'm going to start off with just the basic outline of the elevation, and then I'll go back in and add in the detail in future videos. So this is the file that you need to download. This is in the in Canvas. If you look under final project, there is a final project tar 2054.dwg. That is the file that I have open right now. So that's the one I've opened here. And what it looks like is it has the instructions over here. It has a big box for the location for you to XREF in your floor plan from your midterm project, and here is the image file that is XREF'd into this file. So it'll show up as long as you have the JPEG file that's in this folder, that's in this assignment right here, the beach house front elevation JPEG. As long as that file is in the same folder as the CAD file then this will show up. If it doesn't show up, then most likely it's not in the same folder. You just need to make sure it's in the same folder. So their instructions are that in this file, your task is to create an accurate and precise front elevation from a hand-drawn sketch by drawing directly on top of the image. Be aware that in many instances, your AutoCAD drawing lines will not align exactly with the lines from the hand-drawn floor plan, which is completely normal, or for the elevation. Your lines might be off to the side, or they may be a little bit off, so the image is used for your reference, but not it's not precise and accurate enough to draw over the top of it. What is important is that your lines should be accurate, so you want to make sure that whatever distances you're using, they are realistic in terms of the real world materials, and they're realistic in the terms that they don't have unnecessary fractions. So make sure you minimize unnecessary fractions. So in here I have some requirements of, obviously it's going to be important that you are accurate and precise. And here are some dimensions that you will need to reference in creating the elevation. The layers that you need to use are already in the template. If you look in the property manager, here are the layers. And so the ones we're using are these A elevation layers, and the number represents the thickness. So in elevations or in architectural drawings, the lines that are the closest to the viewer are the thickest, and the lines that are furthest away are the thinnest. Also, lines that are part of a section are very thick lines. So the thickest line in this layer scheme is the white layer, 0.70. So that's the thickest line weight. Use the dimension style that's in this file. All your annotations should be 1/8 of an inch high unless otherwise noted, which it will automatically be 1/8 of an inch high if you use the annotative text style. So you're going to XREF in your floor plan. The title block sheet is already a part of this file, so all you need to do is insert it by using the insert command. So if you need to, so here's the image. So if you need to hide the image, you can click on it and click on this button right here that says show image. It'll hide it temporarily. If you just want to see your line work. If you need to make it brighter or darker, you click on the image and you can slide this slider back and forth. That'll adjust your image brightness. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is XREF in my floor plan from the midterm. So before you XREF, you always want to save your project first. It doesn't matter if you just saved or if you've saved recently, just save and then start the command. So I'm going to click on the save button up here in the quick access toolbar. That's saved it. Now I'm going to type in the command for external reference, xref. Click on this button in the top left where it says attach drawing. That'll open up the select reference file dialog box. You need to navigate to wherever your midterm floor plan file is. In this case, mine's right here. Under floor plan, click open. I'm going to get the attach external reference dialog box. The path type, the best option is always to use relative path. So I'm going to use relative path. Under insertion point, I'm going to leave it as specify on screen, and for the reference type, I'm going to leave it as overlay. Click OK. It's going to be attached to my cursor, so I'm just going to click somewhere over here, and now I need to rotate it. Now I want it to be oriented so that it's oriented is the same view as the elevation, so I need to rotate this 90 degrees. So rotate it. And there we go. So now, if you think about a multi-view drawing, if you were to project this view, this is the front view. This right here is the front view. That's this what you see here. So now I need to align the view, the JPEG image with the floor plan. So I don't want to move my image. My image is already set. I want to move my floor plan. So the one thing that I know that they have to have in common is this center of the building. So I'm going to draw a construction line from the ridge line here. Just kind of visually line up right on that ridge line right there, and just go straight up. All right, so now I'm going to move this floor plan over so that it's centered. I know this doorway is centered right in the middle of the building, so click there and snap right to that line. So I'm going to use the nearest snap, so I type in NEA. Click right there. All right, I don't need these dimensions, so I'm going to hide them temporarily. So under the Home tab, under the Layers panel, there's a button right there. It says Off. So I'm going to click on that button, and then I'm going to click on the dimension on my XREF. It'll turn them off. I don't need the text either, so I'll turn that off. And then hit Escape to get out of the command. All right, so this is the front of the building. This is the exterior wall of the house. This is the deck out here. I'm going to show you what this looks like in 3D somewhat generically. It's a model that I've created in Revit so you can kind of see what it looks like. So this is kind of what the house is. So again, here's the house in the background, and then here's the deck that's out in front. If you want to see the actual image of it, here's the PDF. This is the actual house. So again, there's a deck out in front, and then there's the house behind it. That's kind of what we're drawing. So I'm going to use construction lines to start placing elements. I'm going to do the left edge of the building and the right edge of the building, not the deck, but the walls, the exterior walls. That's these cyan lines, these blue-green lines right here. So I'm going to start the line command, and let me start again. There we go. I'm going to snap right here to that corner. That's the exterior. That's the furthest left edge of the building right there, and just come straight down. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Now this is the right side. Click there, go straight down. Now this image definitely does not line up with the building, and again, the image is something that the designer created to kind of represent the character. The scale of it may or may not be accurate. So when they created it, you know, depending on who it was that drew it, they may have not drawn it with the accurate representation of it. So in the process of taking a sketch and making it into a real world digital drawing, there's going to be differences. So even though my line over here doesn't match up with what I see in the image, that's okay. What's important is my lines. All right, so in an elevation view, we have two primary dimensions. We have horizontal dimension and vertical dimension. We call that width and height. So in this view, the primary dimension that we don't really see anywhere else is the height. It's elevations. So it's vertical dimensions. So in an elevation, the primary elevation is the vertical heights. And the datum that you use to be the 0 point is called the finished floor elevation. Finished floor elevation is the bottom of the door in this case. If you look at here, there's the bottom of the door right there. That represents the top of the floor. So we can start off by placing that anywhere that's kind of in the correct location, and then we'll reference everything else vertically from that location. So I'm going to draw a line that lines up with the bottom of the door, as accurate as I can be with this scale, and I'm just going to draw it perfectly horizontal. Let's try it again. It's snapped up there to the top. All right, so click there, and then I'll just stretch it out to the right a little bit using the grips. I'm going to change all these to a different layer. I'm going to change these to the 0 layer. And I'm going to change my layer to 0 layer. Okay. So I'm going to mark this with text just so you guys can see what it is that this represents. Finish floor equals 0 feet 0 inches. All right, so what that means is that is the datum for all the vertical elevations. So everything is going to be referenced from that point. It's either going to be up above it or down below it. So the lines below it, distances below it will be negative, distances above will be positive. So if we look at our preset dimensions over here, the bottom of the roof is 8 feet. The top of the deck is 4 inches below finished floor. And what else do we have? The finished floor to grade is 2'8". So there's some vertical dimensions I have. Bottom of roof, finished floor to the grade, which is the ground, and top of deck. All right, so let's put some of those in. So the bottom of the roof is 8 feet above this line. So I'm just going to offset that 8 feet. Type in 8 feet, click on my line, make it go up. There you go. That's 8 feet. And that roughly represents where it is in the image, so that's good. Now I'm going to copy it, bring it down 4 inches. This line, 4 inches. All right, so that's the top of the deck. And then copy the same line again, the finished floor line, and bring it down 2'8". Copy 2'8". So that's the ground. Okay. Bring this over so it's not overlapping that. So this is the grade elevation equals negative 2'8". And this one is, bring that straight up. This is B-O. I'm not sure. I'll leave it like that for now. I'll look at it in a moment. All right, so those are my vertical dimensions, and I have this ridge line right there. That's the center of my building. And then I know that this represents the exterior walls on the left side, exterior wall on the right side. And then if I look over here, my overhang, my roof overhang is 2'8". So I can offset this line 2'8". 2'8". 8. So I'll go to the left, and on this side go to the right. I can trim that up a little bit because I don't need it beyond that point. So, and I can trim these up right there and right there. So my roof starts right there at that point. Okay. So the roof slope, again, I've given you that. That's 8, 12. So how we represent that is we do 12 inches of horizontal run. So line, 12 inches. And then we do 8 inches of vertical rise. So line, click right there, come down 8 inches. I have 2 lines there, and now I just need to connect them. So from this point to that point, that gives me my slope. So this is this line right here. That's the slope of the roof. So I'm just going to move this from there to right there, and then extend it till it hits the ridge line. So extend, select that. There. Now I can just mirror that to the other side. Okay, so that distance right there, from there to there, should be 2 foot 8, which is, it is, so that's correct. All right, so now we're going to start adding in the columns. The post for the deck here, that's these posts right here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 2 short ones in the front. So those are right here. Here's one right there. And those go to the deck, to the height of the deck. Okay, they're very close to the exterior wall. So I'm just going to copy that from that corner to that corner, there to there, there to there, and there to there. And those stop right at the bottom of the roof, so I can trim them up right here. So trim, 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 trim. At least visually they do. In the actual building, they go up underneath there and connect to the beam. I can trim this line out here. These elements are in front of this line, so trim that out. These ones actually go down to the ground because they're in line with the other ones, so I'm just extend those down there. All right, so we have these vents in front here. Those vents right there. In this case, I'm going to make the bottom of them 1 foot 10 from the bottom of the roof. So I'm just going to offset this line down 1 foot 10. And then trim it out here. All right, so we're getting close to having the outline of the building. We want to add our doors. Okay, we know, and our shutters here, and we can draw the line for the top of the rail also. So the doors, We know how wide they are because it's shown here in our floor plan, so we just draw a line from right here straight down, like that. And we draw another line straight down from the other side, like this. All right. The bottom of the door is goes to there, so I can trim that out. The doors for a residential project are going to be 6'10", which is above the louver here. Let's see, that's 6'2", so we don't see the top of the door. The door is behind those louvers there. It's back. When you're looking at it straight on, you don't see the top of the door when you're looking at it in orthographic view, so we can't see the top of the door. So if we wanted to just draw it in there just to get it in accurate, but we'd have to trim it out later. So copy this line and bring it up 6'10". So that would be the top of the door. And now we have the pieces of the door that frame the glass. So I'm going to just copy this up here. I'm just going to start bringing it up and see where it kind of hits and then round it off. So it's at almost 1 foot exactly, so 12 inches. Same thing on the top. Copy it. Start bringing it down. It looks like it's almost exactly the same, so 12 inches. And then on the sides, copy that middle line, bring it to the left. It's about 6 inches. It'll be the same on the opposite, on the other side. Now I just need to trim these. I'm going to use chamfer, CHA. So this is the exact same on the opposite side of the door, same panel. So I'm going to just mirror that, symmetrical. And these doors are the same doors used in each location. So I just need to find the center line of each one, and then I can copy these ones. So line, I'm just going to do it once and then mirror it about the ridge line. That's the center of those doors. Again, again, it doesn't line up perfectly with my image, and that's okay. What's important is that it lines up with my floor plan. The image is just a representation of the style, but it's not the accurate construction drawings. So I'm copying this now from here to there, and then I'm going to mirror it about the ridge line. So mirror, select, enter. That's the center point. Go straight down, click, enter. So I have it there and there. I do need to put the line in the middle, right there. I'm just trimming these lines out from the middle line, the top and the bottom of it. Trim, trim, and there we go. So, and then we have the shutters here. I'm going to copy this line to represent the shutters, the outside of the shutters. I'm going to just drag it out here and kind of see where it stops. Looks like it's about 1'3". And I'll mirror that. Let's look at the picture, see what they kind of look like. Okay. So maybe a couple inches off the sides. So I'm going to draw a rectangle in and offset it really quick. And then draw a line that's kind of in the middle here. Offset that 1/2 inch on each side. Trim it out. And then I can mirror this, all of these lines to the other side of the door. And copy them. So copy, copy. And the last thing we're going to do is the stairs. So this is the top of the deck right here, that line. If you draw a line right down the middle, okay, that's the distance that the stairs have to travel vertically. We're going to have 4 risers, so 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to divide this up equally into 4 increments. So using the divide command, div. I'm going to select this object to divide. Number of segments 4. I want to measure it just to make sure that it's less than 7 inches. Click there. That's a node snap, N-O-D-E. So distance was 7 inches exactly. That's perfect. Good. I'll offset 7. Just trim it on the sides here. All right. So that's the steps. And I'm going to do a little bit of detail on the outside here. So this is the top of the deck right here. That line is the top of the deck. So I'm going to just draw a line that looks like this. It's going to come out 1.5 inches, 1.5. It's going to go down 2 inches. Then back over. Let me see what I did before. So I'm going to do it like this here. I'm going to come out 3, 1.5, 1.5, 9.25. So you can just draw it off to the side. So 3, 1.5 down, 1.5 over, and down 9.25, then over 1.5, and then it's going to go down until it hits the ground. And just move that to right there. So trim this out. And just draw a line from here to there, and I'm going to mirror this to the other side using the ridge line. Trim. All right, so that's where we are right now. Finish floor elevation. Let me draw the line for that. Right there. All right, so that's where we are right now, and I'm going to stop that for now, and then we'll come back and add in some more of the detail. When we're done, what we'll have is an elevation that looks like this, with the layers and all the detailing and the notes and dimensions.